No, I'm good.
Okay, yeah, just bear with me like 2 minutes, guys, while this thing updates so I can get music rolling.
You guys hear me?
Yep.
Okie dokie. I think it's almost there. There we go. I think we got it. Alright, so we got everybody, yes?
I think
Looks that
so.
way.
Wonderful. Alright, so the last we left off, the group of you had traveled about the city for the day, and you were trying to gather some information about how to best repair Trollskull Manor. Um, you also transferred the deed of ownership from Volo over to Calarian, as you had not decided on a party name at the time. Spent the majority of the day speaking with the various different residents on Troll Skull Alley. Um, Perry and Calarian had stopped by another local business, a small place called Fruin's Brews, over on number 7, where you sat down, had a drink, and had some conversation. Later in the afternoon, Volo had came back with a friend of his in tow, a man by the name of, where did he go? Dranin, a attorney of sorts, who offered to help you guys get an assessment of cost of repairs, things like that. You also heard a little bit of information about things that he also had going on later in the day, but he said he would be prompt and get back to you as soon as possible. And then we kind of left off there that evening where you guys were all sitting around, passing a bottle, saying who needs to do homework. And is there anything you guys wanted to do before you went off to sleep?
Is my screen supposed to be black or should I open it in Chrome?
It should not be black. You guys should be on Troll Skull Alley. Let me
Great.
move
Oh,
you over and
no.
back. I'm moving you over and back, so let's see if it refreshes for you.
No, I'm just opening it in Chrome.
Oh, okay. So was there anything you guys wished to have completed that evening while you sat around and had your drinks?
Um, no, he probably
Nothing for
done.
me.
All right. So as you all relax and have your moment to converse about the events for the day, having split off and met various other shop owners and the like, you all sit around a small fire in one of the hearths on the main floor of the tap room, just conversing amongst each other when I'd say probably around midnight or so. It's getting pretty late. Um, you all hear this loud rustling noise and a flapping of wings, and then a flying snake with a piece of parchment tied around its neck burrows its way through one of the broken walls that's on the outside of the manor and flutters down to the table amongst all of you in a circle and just rests there.
A flying snake, you said?
Mm-hmm. A serpent with wings.
You guys seen this?
Does it look reminiscent of the symbol we've seen before?
It does.
So I guess Perry will reach out to touch it.
Yeah, it's a physical snake. It recoils a little bit and gives you a little bit of a hiss, but then you see as it kind of turns its head to the side, expectantly waiting for someone to unwrap the parchment around its neck.
Then yeah, I'll just grab the parchment.
Okay. Yeah, so it's a very small piece of parchment that's rolled up and tied there, and when you unravel it, there is a small jotted note on there that says, "Want to be part of something big? Speak to Dabble Starsong at the Yawning Portal." And that's all it says.
Do you guys know who Dallas Starstrong is?
I haven't heard the name, I don't believe.
Liar.
And with that, once you release the parchment from his neck, the serpent figure curls up into a circle and vanishes from existence.
Sorry, can you remind me where we've seen the symbol before?
The symbol looks... It's not a symbol. This is an actual, like, creature of some sort, but it seems to look exactly like this.
Oh, okay.
It's one of the guild symbols. Well, that was strange.
That's a bit.
Yep. So, evening comes to those who wish to lay down for the night. Pretty uneventful night. Every now and then throughout the evening, you do hear the rustling of a chair or maybe what sounds to be like some sort of heavy wood on wood dragging across the floor at some point down below. But other than that, peace and tranquility come to each of you, and you arise and wake for the next morning. The day is yours. What do you guys wish to do?
See, we didn't actually buy much like supply for the end. Right, we haven't bought any supplies for the end yet.
I believe we were leaving that to the guy, right?
Yeah, what's his name? Or title?
Dranin.
Yeah, the agency guy.
I think we should go talk to that guy at the Yawning Portal.
Yeah, might as well go get some food as well.
Okay. So you all gather your things for the morning and you come downstairs, meet up in the tap room for any semblance of breakfast and rations that you guys muster together. And the first thing you notice is that the tables all seem to have been, the ones that can be, seem to have been righted. And there are a few chairs that are scattered around some of these tables. And a lot of the other broken wood and debris seems to have been pushed into a corner.
So this was explaining the noises we heard last night.
Possibly.
Seems to.
Poltergeist is at it again.
Friendly
Well,
tavern ghost.
I want to see if we can make contact with them somehow.
Sure. How would you like to try to do that?
I don't know, but I've been playing a lot of Phasmophobia lately, so. I suppose try and write a note, or like ask it to write its name or whatever on some paper, just like leave for the day.
Okay. So you just write a note asking for it to do something?
Well, I'll put down a piece of paper on the table and some ink or whatever, and just verbally ask it to give us the information.
Okay. Go ahead and make a persuasion check for me. Okay. The parchment rests there momentarily on the table. After a few minutes, you see the parchment shift back towards you. Did you leave any kind of writing utensils for it to write on?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you can see that the parchment, the quill that you had left next to the parchment, it writes itself, and you can see loosely scribbled on the edge of the parchment the letters LIF.
His name is Liff.
There's no acknowledgement.
Oh, I was asking you.
Oh, yes, LIF, LIF.
All right.
You gather that that seems to be answering your question.
I asked if it used to be like an owner or patron of this place.
A few more moments go by, and then you can see that the quill picks up once more, and then it just circles, it draws a circle around its name.
I don't know how to interpret that. I'm just going to assume it was a previous owner then.
Yep, and you can make an insight check if you'd like.
To determine that?
Yeah, see if you get a sense or not. Okay. You gather that this being, this entity, it has difficulty communicating, or maybe quite possibly, and with your understanding of some of the divine and the undead, that it might not be able to interact as frequently as it would like, but you gather that it seems to be affirming your question by circling its name.
Okay. That's it then. I guess I'll assume the rest of the party is there and whatnot, and I'll just give them my assumptions.
Yeah, easy enough to do. So it is it's relatively early in the morning. You guys went to bed, I guess, in a decent hour. It's maybe about 7 or 8 in the morning right now. The sun is shining through a partial cloud cover. There does seem to be a bit of darkness on the horizon as you guys step out of the entrance of the manor and look around, and you can hear the bustling commotion of shop vendors and horse-drawn carriages and people traversing through the northern and southern main streets connecting this alley. Let's see. Tizio and Levi, the two of you would probably notice that on the the bar table, where Dranen had previously set down his briefcase, for lack of a better term, there is a sheet of paper that is resting there. It wasn't there before, but it might have been left behind by Dranen, but you're not sure. You reach over and you grab it, and it actually appears to be a broadsheet of some sort, named the Waterdeep Wazoo, which you guys have a copy in your handouts.
Yeah, I was just reading through it.
Yep.
Where's it under? Water.
Under player handouts, broadsheets.
Oh, I found it.
Cool. So, the day is yours. The sun is shining. What would you guys like to do?
I think were we heading over to the yawning portal? Is that what was happening?
I think so.
No. But we can.
Do we need to meet up with the dwarf again? Or did,
He he had told you that hopefully before the end of the 10-day that he would be able to run to the various guilds, have them swing by and assess the property,
okay.
and then he would be able to collectively give you guys an assessment on the repair costs for the entirety of the upper and lower floors in the attempts of reopening the tavern.
Okay.
So you guys wanted to head out towards the yawning portal?
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
Very well, sure.
Say again?
For sure.
Okay. So for this, what I would like to start implementing is some determining who would be leading the charge as you guys are heading down through these streets. And then whoever will be doing that's going to be rolling a D100 for me. So who's going to take point as you guys make your way towards the yawning portal?
I'm fine too if nobody else wants to.
Yeah, I was gonna say I can do it as well since I know the area. I guess.
Oh, that works. Yeah.
Okay. Well, either. Well,
Go for it.
yeah, whoever wants to. Where did I put? There it is. 91. Okay. Okay, yep. So, as you guys are making your way south from the North Ward, where you guys are currently located, heading back to the familiar Yawning Portal, it's quite a busy thoroughfare through most of the main streets. And Tizio, you're quite accustomed to this. For those of you who are not so used to crowded cities like this, it's shoulder to shoulder on a lot of the thoroughfare, and a lot of the main streets are pretty wide as you guys are traveling down the way of the dragon or any of the major roadways. You do notice, Tizio, as you guys are strolling through, a troupe of halfling street performers that appear to be putting on some form of a puppet show. They seem to be reenacting some sort of like an ancient battle or playing instruments for coin.
Yeah, these guys. Have I seen them around before or no?
Make an intelligence check. 22. You have traversed the area a bit in your time being here since you've come back to town. It's a first seeing these guys in particular. So they're not immediately like recognizable or anything to you.
Well, any of you guys want to stop and watch?
Harry will.
Sure. Yeah, so you guys spend a little bit of time there, and you can see that this small group of halflings, they just have a small stage set up, and I cannot click this token for some reason, so it's going away. They have a small stage set up, and you can see there's a lot of neighborhood children that are seeing around. We do hear you. We just want to know if you're doing push to talk. You can see that there are a lot of small children from the neighborhood. A lot of them seem to be either dirty and ragged, or you do see a couple others that seem to be a little bit better off. But they all seem to congregate in a semicircle around this small puppet show, and you can watch as the group of them. There's 4 in total that are just. You got 2 that seem to be working behind the actual small stage that they have set up with these various different puppets, and you can see that one of them, a older looking halfling with a short but very pristine looking top hat, is broadly announcing the story as a narrative point of view to these children who are just standing there in amazement. And you can see that there's a couple other passerby that are walking by, just flicking in a copper here and there, and the kids are clapping when it's appropriate to clap, and gasping when it's appropriate to gasp, and you can see that they're just enthralled by this very enticing puppet show. But you guys continue making your way along, heading towards the northern part of the castle ward to the Yawning Portal, which is right about, if I recall, here. Once you guys get inside, you are greeted by the familiar warm-lit interior with the smell of stale ales and fine whiskeys permeating the air inside, giving off this bit of a rustic must scent, but it's welcoming, especially to Calarian. It is pretty packed in here, and you can see that Durnan is currently just gathering up a bunch of discarded ale mugs and wine skins and tossing them back behind the counter. And then you all see a familiar barmaid, Bonnie, scurrying around trying to collect up clean, dirty dishes and rush off into the back of the storeroom to possibly wash them or give them over to someone to take care of.
Sorry, I missed the guy's name we were looking for when I didn't have my notes open yet. Could you say it one more time?
I sure can. His name is Davil Starsong. I will type it in chat for you.
Oh, Davil.
Yeah, I heard Dallas the first time.
Yep. So you guys are currently in the Yawning Portal. What do you wish to do?
So we have no idea who this guy is, right?
You have not met him before, and I don't believe any of you have any information to go on as to who he is.
You said Bonnie was running about. Could we like grab her and ask her if she knows if he's here?
Sure, yeah. You catch her. She's trying to grab a cluster of plates in one hand. She stops and goes, "Oh, yeah, yes, dear. How can I help you?"
We're looking for someone by the name of Davil Starsong. He said to meet him here. Do you happen to know where he is?
She's. What is your passive insight? Hold on.
My wisdom is 1, so
Yeah. Well, your passive perception is different than insight. Oh no, it's a wisdom. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, she pauses for a moment and she looks over at you and she kind of just goes, "Oh, I bit shady to be working around with you, isn't it? I mean, if you're looking for him," and she just her eyes kind of dart over to one of the back corners of the room up on the second floor, where make a perception check. Yeah, hard to make out too much detail from where you are, but you can see that there is a spiral staircase that leads up from the direction that she was kind of looking, that leads up to a upper balcony of the yawning portal, where there are a number of other tables and patrons that are currently up there. And she kind of looks over to you and says, he's usually lurking around up there somewhere in the dark.
do
I'm
you
sure.
know anything about him?
I know to stay away from him. He's not the most savory of individuals, although handsome.
Real quick, do we know where that symbol that you showed us earlier is from?
Yes,
Okay, so we know it's a room.
you do, because you guys went to that warehouse.
Okay.
Well, thank you, and we'll be on our way.
Yes, just, you know, I wouldn't recommend dealing with him if you could avoid it. Him and his lot tend to get into some bad trouble. So just mind yourself, dear.
We'll be careful.
Bonnie, can you also bring us around?
Get some food.
Of course, of course. Yeah, I can get breakfast, lunch. We can make anything you want.
Breakfast.
Breakfast.
Eggs.
Sure, we can definitely get some eggs and some bacon and sausages and all sorts of delicious things. And then you can hear her voice changes a little bit from the sweeter kind of voice, and you're familiar with this, to this loud, 40-year-old waitress who shouts out behind the counter as she screams out like, "Hey, put more eggs and bacon on the fire!" And then she goes back to being we'll get it over to you as soon as we can. It's a little shocking at first, but then you're just kind of like, oh, yep, okay. I guess she's gotta yell when she has to. Do you guys make your way upstairs?
Yeah, I
I'm
would.
very hesitant to meet with his aunt.
Well, Perry will, just to see what kind of evil person this is.
Yeah, what's the harm in a conversation?
Okay. So Perry, as you start making your way up the spiraling staircase to the second floor of the yawning portal, make a perception check for me.
I'm going with Perry too, by the way.
Yes, of course. Go ahead and make one as well.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I thought we were all going, but yes, I will.
Well, yeah, I know. He just, since he had stated he was going first, because he initially prompted, that's why I was
okay.
giving him the role.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Nice. Very nice. Okay. So it's a little hard for you to see over the crowd of people, Perry. I do apologize. There's just this large swarm of people that are all gathered around different tables. They all seem to be swapping stories, having drinks this early in the morning. Various ones are eating breakfast. You do see that there are a couple local commoners that are scattered throughout as well. Clarion, with you being able to see pretty well over the crowd, you do see someone familiar. You see a rather sturdy-looking female half-orc sitting in the back room, the back corner of the tavern on the second floor. It's not well lit back there, but with some of the dim candlelight that is flickering across the second floor, you can make out that she is currently sitting with another elven-looking individual who seems to be extremely well dressed. His make sure I have his info. Yeah, with blonde hair and very sharp-looking clothing, and they both seem to be talking amongst themselves in a low whisper. And you can see that after a few moments of looking in their direction, the female half-orc, her eyes widen a little bit, and she kind of mumbles something without looking directly at her partner, and they both just stop talking as they both start looking in your direction. But then she takes a moment, she recognizes you guys actually, and she raises a hand and beckons you over.
Would it be safe to assume that everybody in the party knows or notices this at this point?
Yeah,
Okay.
safe to assume.
Pointed at himself and just word me. I'm confused.
I'm sorry?
Perry's gonna point at himself and or like mouth the word me. And then look around confused.
Oh yeah. So yeah, you see as the female half orc, she stands up now and she's just looking at the group of you as you arrive on the plateau of the second floor, and she's just gesturing with her large orcish hand towards you, and then you can see that she's pointing at some open benches that are currently there around you.
Yep, Bones, take a seat.
All right. Give me 1 second to pull up that info. Yeah, play battle music. That's good. Just kidding.
Oh no.
So that could be how this ends.
No, that was a joke. I actually meant to pick a different one. Oops. Come on, load. There we go. That's the great thing about working with two computers. Where'd it go? I literally just saw it. Okay. So, as you all approach towards the table, you can see that you all immediately recognize this woman now as the same half orc who was in that bar fight when you first arrived at the Yawning Portal, the one that had scrapped with those other individuals, and the one that I believe Talum had sent a message to, and she had abruptly left the Yawning Portal after reading the letter.
Yep.
Yep, and she watches as all of you approach, and you can see that the elven man that's sitting next to her as she stands just smiles broadly and raises his glass, and doesn't say anything at first, but then you can see that this other lady, she goes, "Welcome, welcome. It's interesting that you guys came. We weren't sure if you would respond to our message."
I assume that makes you Davil, and I'll look at the elf dude.
Very perceptive of you, yes. My name is Davil Starsong, and he slightly bows towards you. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Talum.
Quite a peculiar way of delivering a message. It piqued my interest.
Well, not all things need to be done in person. I'm sure you could agree.
Of course.
Perry will look at the half orc and be like, "Oh, good to see you're still in one piece."
One piece. And she thinks for a minute. Oh, those assholes from the other night. Yeah, I recognized you guys over there when you fought that giant troll. I didn't know you guys saw me fighting those idiots from the Xanathar Guild too. Don't worry about them.
Yeah, I'm glad it was an easy fight for you.
Thank you, thank you. So, you guys are looking for work, I take it. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here.
Well, I think we're just curious on the person willing to hire us, I suppose. His reputation precedes him, so let's go from there, I suppose.
And you guys can see now at this time that Bonnie and another female human waitress approaches the table of you, and Devil and this half work, they stay silent for a moment as they start scattering the food and drinks amongst you all, and you can watch as Devil reaches into his side pouch and he pulls out 2 gold pieces and hands it over to Bonnie and says, "It's on me, don't worry." And Bonnie just like begrudgingly puts her hand out and kind of looks over at Tizio for a second, and her eyes kind of go like flash wide for a moment, but then takes the gold, just nods, and briskly walks away.
I'm gonna slowly signal her, like, get another round.
She nods back, and then she hurries off back down the stairs. As that did not loop, I apologize. Give me 1 second. So, with your food and drinks amongst you, Davil starts to he slowly looks amongst the 5 of you, and after taking a moment to just assess each of you, he says, "Life in Waterdeep can be very tough. I'm sure most of you would agree that things as of late have not been as pleasant as they normally are. But it seems that fate has brought us together so that we can achieve a common interest." And he's looking right now at you, Tizio. "I wonder if the group of you can take care of something for us that's been a bit of a bother this past couple days. It seems that there's been some murders in the dock ward. I'm sure you've heard about it."
Yes, we have.
Yeah, it's hard to go anywhere without seeing anything about it.
"Well, it seems that someone is killing elf and half-elf sailors in the dock ward." And again, his eyes meet yours, Tizio. "There's been 3 dead so far. Each one's been decapitated by a blade in the dead of night. Look into it, will you? Methinks the City Watch could use a little help."
Can you give us any more info other than that? I'm just saying that's what I've heard, but that's what I've been seeing in the papers as well.
Of course. It's bad enough that some tension between elves and humans and dwarfs has always bordered some degree of discrimination throughout Waterdeep's history. But nothing is more frightening than a person who takes action on these lofty words they spout. It seems that someone has been targeting sailors who roam the docks alone at night. From what we gather from our sources with the City Watch, these individuals were all either elf or half-elf. Sometimes it was unsure. But they were definitely targeting sailors in the dead of night when no one else was around. And being a fellow kin, if you would, as he's looking at you,
I nodded.
I think that that bad blood should be put to rest. And I think that we are doing a great service to the people of Waterdeep by stopping such a criminal, no?
We should. That's no one should be killed that way, or killed at all.
How are they being killed?
It's tragic, really. We're not entirely sure, but reports say that when the victim is found dead, they are found headless, their body separated from the neck up, and then discarded along random alleys in different parts of the docks.
And what's in this for you?
We take a particular interest in the dock ward. There are many imports and exports that we focus on. It doesn't benefit my group or those that work with me to have to worry about being beheaded in the mists of night.
What group do you work for?
He smiles and looks at you, Calarian. Well, I think you've already visited one of my warehouses, have you not? Caused quite a bit of disturbance for me and mine. But I figure let's put bygones beside. Let's worry about the future and build something more mutual together, beneficial. I can definitely offer you coin for taking care of such atrocities in the dock ward for me. And we'll ignore past transgressions.
And by take care, you mean, dispose of?
He gingerly smiles, and you can see that when he speaks, he's carefully thinking about how he wants to answer things. Dispose is a way of putting it, I suppose. We just would like assurances that the dock ward is safe to traverse at night. However that is accomplished is up to you.
Are all these people that are getting killed members of your organization?
Surprisingly, no. No one from my organization has been harmed yet. We are just putting a stopper into the bleeding before it causes more stress. Everyone who has been killed has been a sailor so far.
Okay.
Sounds like we have our bait.
I'm sorry?
Sounds like Tiz will make good bait.
The sailors, were they from a particular merchant company or anything like that that you know of?
Make a persuasion check. Okay. Give me 1 second. Two of the sailors happened to be passing through the city when they ended up finding permanent residence here, and you can see he tries to crack a bit of a smile, but then looks at the rest of the group and goes back to being stoic. One of them did happen to be part of one of the larger shipping groups here in the city, part of the Adabrandt family. But there doesn't seem to be any specific motive other than the killing of elves and half-elves alike.
So a serial killer the guard can't catch.
Give me 1 moment. And that's correct. I'm just typing out the name. And you can see this entire time that the half orc is just sitting there quietly and just watching the rest of you. Her long great club is just leaning up against the side of the table next to her, as she's just keeping an eye on things, but letting Davil do the talking. And then he, as the group of you are, looking around between each other, he goes, "My dear, I apologize. Formal introductions have not been made. This," as he gestures lazily over to his companion, "this is Yagra Stonefist, a companion and enforcer of mine. And should you ever need me when I'm not here, seek her out. She knows how to find me." Yagra just gives a nod towards the group of you.
What's in this deal for us? How much coin are we talking?
Wonderful question. Well, depending on how quickly you guys can get this done, let's see. Ba. Taking care of this and ensuring that this murderer is no longer on the loose, I would be happy to grant the group of you 250 gold. I can give you half now and the other half later, upon completion of it.
And this agreement doesn't come with any sort of lasting agreement, correct? One time kind of thing?
If you wish for it to be. Or, if you want to continue on and make this a longer lasting arrangement, I'm sure that you could raise your ranks through our guild, as it were. Make a name for yourself here with the Zhentarim. We definitely could use people like you. Strong, able-bodied individuals. Bit of a head on your shoulders.
I'll give you this one job for the sake of the elves, but I will not be a Zhentarim puppet.
He leans back in his chair and he looks over at you, Kaleri, and he says, "My good man, I don't treat anyone in my employ as a puppet, as you so put it. Each and every one of us have come here with a common purpose: the protection of Waterdeep and its citizens when the City Watch cannot. This government has failed us in so many ways, and it is our right as Waterdevians to make sure that its best interests are taken care of."
And you do that by kidnapping Floon?
You must understand something. That was not me. That was not my associates. The warehouse that you went to on Candle Lane was actually no longer being used by my group of Zhentarim. Rather, it was Erstal Floxen and his group of renegades that seemed to have taken up arms on their own, lashing out against me and mine, and causing quite a mess for ourselves.
Is he telling the truth?
Make an insight check.
Yeah, can I?
I'd like to point out, too, that not just a moment ago, he had said that it was his. We'd spent time at his warehouse.
Yeah, that's what I.
It's true. Anybody who wants to make an insight check, feel free.
I'm apparently distracted by the new waitress.
I didn't notice that we were
Control.
missing Levi. I thought he'd be here. Let me message him real quick.
was daylight savings time today, so
Say again? Yeah, I know. So, let me finish whispering. For Tizio and Calarian, he's really hard to read. He seems to be very selective in his choice of words. And then when Talon had prompted him about the warehouse and the kidnapping, it seemed to have sparked a little bit of retort. But it's hard to tell if he's being fully truthful or not, especially with you guys having just heard him say that it was his warehouse. Let's see here.
so Perry will chime in, I guess. So there's no, just we're stopping a serial killer, we're getting paid, and that's it.
That is what he is asking of you. How's the best way to word this? There you go. So, can I prevail on each of you? Would you be able to look into this for us? Track down this murderer, lure him out of the shadows, and do with him what you will. Turn him over to the City Watch, or bring justice upon him yourselves. And he looks over at you again, Tizio.
Does he have any? Do you have any sort of evidence against him? We can't just really show up to the City Watch and be like, "This guy's a serial killer."
I'm sure if you caught him in the act, that would be damning evidence in itself. But then again, I don't care if you bring him to the City Watch or not. I just want this murderer off the streets.
I'll look to the rest of the group.
Like I said, I'll do it, but not for the Zentrum.
As you would have
Yeah,
it.
Tizio will agree with it as well.
Okay. And he looks over to Yagra, and you see Yagra pulls out a small satchel of coin, and she slides it across the table, just in the middle of the group of you.
This is 125 gold, right?
That is correct.
And there's 5 of us.
Yes.
Oh, I thought it was each. Okay.
If only.
I'll stick my hand in and grab my 25 gold.
Okay.
Sorry, I cut out. What part did I miss?
Nothing.
I assume you've shared all the details you have about this man or woman or thing.
You're asking Davil if he's shared all the information with who?
I would assume us.
Yeah. Have you shared all the information you have with us? Anything now?
This is as much information as my men have been able to gather in the short time that this has been happening. It's been going on now for about, I'd say, a week. If we had any more information or a central location in the dock wards, I would happily give it to you, or take care of the situation myself. However, I have been dealing with some renegades, and it's been diverting my attention, as it were.
Renegade, like from your group?
Yes.
Yes, a man named Erstel. he and a couple other degenerates decided to make their own version of the Zentarum, if you will. He's been running things a little bit differently. He has his own ideals. But it's been causing a bit of a headache for those under my employ. And we're getting caught in the crossfire between him and the Xanathar Guild. It's been causing a lot of bloodshed. Make an insight history check, tell him. Yes, you do recognize them as the Blackstaff of Blackstaff Tower.
Okay.
Do you know? Did you read up on the history stuff, or do you need me to elaborate?
The 27-page thing. I skimmed that. I might.
Okay.
Have
No, I didn't know if you knew any Waterdeep history. So the Blackstaff is basically the Archmage who works in tandem with the city government. They are their own authority within the city. They have a wide range of power to do stuff. The Blackstaffs, which there's only one ruling Blackstaff at a time, but the Blackstaffs are essentially the ones who created the current form of government here in Waterdeep hundreds of years ago. Agaron was the first Blackstaff, and he had actually opposed the at the time like king of the city of Waterdeep. And because they had a big confrontation, he ended up ousting that king, taking over as ruler himself, and established what is currently known now as the single open lord of Waterdeep and the mass lords. He resides in, or they reside in Blackstaff Tower, which I believe is in the Castle Ward. Let me pull it back up.
Well, that's what it said. Okay.
Oh, yep, that is what it says.
Okay. Great.
So, Davil, looking at the group of you, he just nods and he goes, "Well, please, if you resolve this issue, you can find myself or Yagar here. We're generally here most of the time. Or if you have means of sending magical message, feel free to do so."
And the timetable for this? Couple days? Doesn't seem like an easy task. Track this guy down.
I agree. As quickly as possible would be preferred. But I'm not going to hold you to any specific time frame. However, if you abscond from it and you just decide to give up, well, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Okay. Well, thank you. I think it's best if we get going. I'm just gonna like stand up and kind of look at my friends and be like, we got somewhere to go.
Harry will follow.
Yeah, as Tizio's like he's gonna follow as well, but he's gonna kind of pause for a second and ask him. Another crime I keep hearing about is some missing artwork. Uh, you don't think they're related, do you?
He gives you a very stern look for several seconds. What have you heard?
Oh, that they're just missing, and for them to be returned. But they're just out of all the crime in the city, those are the two that I keep hearing about.
Tizzy, we gotta go.
I assume you're referring to the artwork that had been stolen from Noble Manors? If so, I know nothing of it. Maybe you need to speak to the up-and-ups and figure out why their precious trinkets are going missing.
Alrighty then, let's go.
So once we're away from there, I'll just tell them that I was just told I was just summoned to the Blackstaff's tower, and he said to bring you guys, and it sounded pretty urgent. So
The voice in your head sounded female, just so you know.
okay,
Sorry, I didn't specify that.
that's fine. I was summoned by Vajra, the Blackstaff, to have a conversation. So I think we should head over there right away.
I'm gonna take my drink with me. And
Lead the way.
yeah.
I mean, I don't really know how to get there.
Tizio, roll a history check. The one thing you guys are good at. That's enough.
You had to jinx it.
Yeah. No, 10's enough. You having been here for as long as you have, you definitely are aware of who the Blackstaff is, and when Talum kind of mentions it to you, you're like, the what? The Blackstaff? Because you're aware of how important that figure is, and why would they reach out to any of you in particular is quite astonishing. But you do know where the tower is. You do know that it's near that it is in the Castle Ward along the western coast. Actually, not too far from where you guys are currently. You guys are roughly about here, and Blackstaff Tower is right here. And surprisingly, it can't be missed once you get over that way because it is a giant tower of solid black.
Is it like stone? I assume.
Tizio would be able to tell you that it is made of stone, yes.
It is made of stone.
Cool. Granite, marble, quartz.
I don't think I've ever seen it up close, so I can't tell you that much.
Well,
You
we're about to.
you would know that if you didn't have business there, it is not wise to broach the gates. So yes, you have not ever been up close to it because it is surrounded by a large metal gate surrounding it.
There's
Yeah,
one
I've always
person.
just seen it from afar, and that was about it. But I can lead you guys there.
Yeah. Hopefully this goes well.
Okay.
Weird that they summon you, but they don't give you directions.
I assume they're smart. We're smart enough to figure it out.
And also that they're a well-known figure within the city.
Smart enough to figure it out. Yes.
Yeah. So, you guys exit the yawning portal back out onto the main thoroughfare there on, what is the name of that wonderful street? Hazar Street. And it's not too much of a jaunt, making your way over to Blackstaff Tower, which is here, maybe about a 10 or so minute walk. Who is leading the way?
I believe I would.
Go ahead and roll a D100 for me. A 4. Okay. So as you guys are making your way to the west of Hazar Street, heading directly towards Blackstaff Tower, you do notice that a drunken dwarf who seems to have been turned around a bit falls down and picks himself back up. Brushes himself off, but he seems to have dropped a pouch, and he stumbles off and staggers away out down a couple of alleys. He's probably maybe like 200 or 300 feet away from you, amidst the crowd of people that are there. But you do notice that there's a satchel that seems to have fallen off his waist side onto the ground.
Oh, yeah,
Do we all see this? Or
Yeah,
just
isn't I don't remember who it was. Was it Perry that was with me? I'm sorry. Does he look familiar to me?
You can make a perception check, but this will be a disadvantage because he's about 200 feet away from you, and it is a very crowded street. Uh, at this distance, no, it's a little hard to say. You only saw the back side of him. He just seems to be wearing some basic brown and green leathers. It was a little too hard to make out any discerning features.
Perry's gonna grab the pouch and start chasing after the guy, yelling at him.
Okay. Make a. This would be a perception check as you guys are trying to catch up to him, because he's a bit of a jaunt from you guys, and he also ducked through a corner, so he's heading somewhere. Let me roll a d124.
Is just Perry rolling a perception?
Whoever wants to. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. He rolled terribly. So, yeah, you guys definitely see him as he turned left down one of the smaller alleys there on what is that? I can't even pronounce this. Alananther Street. And you are able to, dashing up towards him, catch up to him, and he's just minding his way as he seems to be humming a tune to himself, and he's just singing out broadly into the alley as he's just making his way home. But yeah, you're able to see him heading down that way. You can catch up to him, and you tap on his shoulder, and he goes, "Whoa, what is it?"
Kind of like grab him by the collars. And
Hey, let me.
And then, does he have any like more like just straighten him up, not necessarily like roughing him up?
And he's trying to brush your hands off of him. And he's like, "Oi, you gotta buy me a drink first."
I'll do you one better, and I'll hand him his little gold pouch.
What? Blimey, where did you find this?
I just throw it over the corner over there. You must have dropped it. Does he have any like jewelry on his like chest or anything, like a symbol of Muradin or anything?
Make a perception check.
And now that we're up close, am I able to tell if it was the same guy from last time?
Make a perception check. Oh no, you Tizio don't need to. 5. Unfortunately, yeah, he looks a little disheveled, especially because he just got surrounded by a group of you as you approached him in an alley, and so he's a little bit startled. But you're not making out any discernible jewelry or iconography from any kind of deities that you're familiar with, unfortunately. Tizio, you take a look at this man, and he does not appear to be the same dwarf that you guys saw the previous night when Calarian helped that gentleman out.
So yeah, once I kind of like pat him down and give him the coin and whatnot, I'm gonna snap my finger under his nose and Muradin bless you as I cast Druid Caft and create like a really nasty like skunk smell, just to try and sober him up a bit.
What the hell? And he's trying to like wave his hand in front of his face. He's like, "Oh, what have you been in the sewers or something? You need a bath." Ugh. 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 And he takes a moment to try to. I'm not sure. I haven't been on it since 2 weeks ago. He kind of straightens himself up, and his eyes, clarify a little bit for a moment as it seems to have shocked his senses. And he kind of looks at you and goes, "Why, appreciate you returning this to me. And the missus would be having something else to yell down my throat about when I got home." And he reaches in and he passes each of you 1 silver.
Thank you. And we go back to the group.
Nice.
I'll have to just keep his coin.
Yeah, I won't accept it.
No, no, I insist, I insist. And he kind of like jangles the bag a little bit. It's like, this was rent money for the next month. If I didn't bring this home, I'd be hell in hot water.
I'm gonna insist that he keeps it.
I'm gonna remember you. And he just kind of tosses it back into his bag and heads on his way. But for those of you who accept it, take 1 silver. And then you guys start proceeding back towards Blackstaff Tower, I imagine.
Yeah, a little bit
Oh.
faster now.
Yeah, with a little bit of a detour, unfortunately. Yeah, so you push your way back out onto the busy thoroughfare, and you have to dodge out of the way as a couple stagecoaches are tromping along down the main road in a pretty quick pace. But you're able to, scoot out of the way as best you can, and you start weaving your way through the city, heading over towards Blackstaff Tower. You guys do see on another corner off to the side another younger boy, couldn't be more than 12, 14 years old, just standing there with a small brown cap on, and he seems to be another gentleman yelling out for news and information. And you guys do hear as you're rushing past, restorations continue in Neverwinter. The Open Lord Lady Silverhand praised for leading efforts. Stone statue of half-orc found on the steps of Pagirian's palace. City watch is baffled. And he's just shouting out a couple other news and information from the day before and repeating these phrases. It might be. I've always been using Chrome, so I'm not entirely sure. So you guys do make your way over towards Blackstaff Tower, which is... Actually, it doesn't... It's got to have a name of the street on there. 1 second. What is the name of that street? Everything here has street names. Nope, it does not. Interesting. Okay. Anyway, so as you guys are getting closer and closer towards Blackstaff Tower, you can see it looming now in the distance, and behind it, the coastal view of the ocean to the west. With the sun now rising, probably getting closer towards midday, you guys can see that this is a large, solid black tower with no windows or any kind of doors visible from the distance. Go ahead and make a perception check, anyone who wants to. Nice. Nice rolls. Excuse me. As you guys are getting closer and closer towards the gates, you can see that there is Tizio. You actually recognize it first, and Talum, you would pick up on it right after. But there seems to be a... Thank you. There seems to be a bit of a faint spark of energy here and there between the wrought iron fence itself and Tizio. You can see that there are a number of kids that are running around near Blackstaff Tower, and they seem to be chucking rocks every now and then along the tower at certain points, and you can see as the rock flies towards the fence, hits it and pauses for a moment, and then rockets back in the opposite direction. And they're laughing and giggling, and then you can see behind the fence, maybe about 20 or so feet in the air, what appears to be an assortment of bones that are currently like jumbled up. And as you guys are walking and getting closer, the bones, they reassemble themselves into a humanoid form and then jumble back up again, and then another few moments later reassemble, just hovering above the fence line.
I hate magic.
Can we tell what kind of magic that is?
If is anyone proficient in Arcana?
No.
Yes.
Talum, I would say, looking at it, you're not entirely sure what spell this would be particularly, but it definitely seems to be magical in nature, and it seems to be an enchantment holding these bones aloft. The bones themselves appear to be just humanoid and normal, but it's hard to discern what kind of magic would just be holding these bones in place. You have some idea of spells that could possibly do it, but you gather this is more a bit of a warning to those who dare enter the premises.
I wouldn't try to jump the fence.
Oh, is that how they got there?
It's a theory. So we're just at the gate.
Currently. Well, you guys are at one side of the gate, so you guys can take a moment to start looking around. And now that you guys are maybe about 10 or so feet from the gate itself, you can see that the gate circles around the entirety of the building. So as you start making your way around, you don't at first notice any entranceway or anything of the sort. After a few moments pass by, you can see that several of the iron bars to the gate themselves, they disappear when you guys approach, allowing a large enough entrance for all of you to pass through.
Seems like we're welcome here. Yeah, I'll step through.
Okay. You all
Yeah.
watch as Talum steps through and disappears.
Visibly, he just disappears.
You can see from where you're standing, you can see through the bars, and on the other side of the bars is a courtyard surrounded by various shrubs and trees, and it's spacious. You can see through it to the tower, but you don't see Talum.
Perry's gonna like do a quick
Do I
pray
still
to
see
his
them?
god.
You look back, and yeah, you see them standing there, looking around, wondering where the hell you went.
Come on, guys. What are you waiting on?
Can we hear
I'll
him?
run with.
Yeah, you can hear him.
Oh, yeah. Start walking through them.
Yep, and one by one, you just pass through as if nothing happened. And now that you guys are on the interior of the courtyard, it's actually quite busy in here. There is a large number of various aging children and some young adults, and a couple other elderly individuals who seem to be standing while the rest of them are seated around different portions of the courtyard as they're giving out lectures and various different things. And Talum, you pick up on some of it, and you can hear this is very formal instructional training on the use of arcane magic. It's very reminiscent of uh, your old days of training.
Interesting. Okay. Is there like an obvious door or like person who we could talk to or anything?
Looking around, once you actually get close enough towards the tower or the base of it, there's about a 20-30 foot gap between the fence and the base of the tower. You do see that there is a large wrought iron door that wasn't there originally, but it is now that you guys have entered the threshold.
I guess we'll walk over to it.
Sure. When you approach it, it opens on its own. It is a very dark interior on the inside. And you can see now that one of the small lecturing groups that has been teaching not too far off from you, they all stop and just kind of stare at you momentarily. A bit shocked.
Just keep walking, I think.
Sure. You walk on through?
Yeah.
Okay. For the second time, in
Uh,
a very... Go ahead.
I was gonna say the people here. Perhaps you said it and I missed it. Are they like different races?
Yes, you can see that there's a smattering of different individuals, everything from human, elf, or half elf. You're not too sure. It's kind of hard to tell at a very young age between elves and half elves. You
We can tell.
make a perception check if you like,
It's a
but
joke.
no, I know. It's like yeah. You can see that there is like an individual tiefling, and you can see that way further off in the distance on the other side of the courtyard near a larger water fountain. One of the instructors is dragonborn, but there appears to be quite a diverse group of individuals here. But the majority would probably be human. You can't tell.
All right, thank you.
It's probably not until their 70s that you start realizing, oh, you haven't aged at all. So, for the second time today, in a very short amount of time, you will watch as Talum just bravely walks towards the darkened interior of this tower and vanishes from sight. Talum, you feel the air leaving your lungs as you feel your presence, your essence, pulled to a different place.
Interesting.
You
Is
guys,
it okay to come through, Talon?
I assume I don't hear that, right?
you do not, and you guys get no response on the other side.
So I'm nervous about it, but I'll follow through anyways.
It's an astral dreadnought.
I mean, whatever.
You guys head in, I imagine.
This is like the most roundabout way they could
There it
execute
is.
us.
I don't know. I'm not gonna say you walk in if you don't want to walk in. I'll give you the option.
Yeah, Tizia will go in kind of cautiously, like kind of on the defense, kind of ready for an attack or something type
Sure,
thing.
yeah. You grab or you reach out with your ungauntleted hand and you go to breach the horizon of the dark surface area. And it's strange, right? Because these wrought iron doors, they opened up to the inside, and it is just solid black from the door frame on. Even though there's light outside, none of it is permeating through the entranceway. And so you go up and you reach towards it, and as soon as you touch it, you are pulled in. Like all the air escapes your lungs, and you feel your entire presence being pulled and shifted to another place.
I will throw up on the other side.
All right. Levi rolls his eyes and proceeds through.
Perry's going through as well.
Yeah, this was the end of the campaign. Congratulations. Okay, yep. Perry travels through. Same feelings. Very strange sensation, especially like because you're wearing so much heavy armor. Clarion, yes, no, maybe.
Yeah. I'll go
Okay.
through.
I have to ask because you cannot if you don't want to. Okay, so the group of you proceed to get that similar feeling of being pulled through another place. Actually, Talon, when you reach the other side, you immediately get the same feeling that you had a very long time ago when Xenon sent you to Waterdeep.
Okay.
And you immediately recognize this as you were teleported somewhere else. You stand there momentarily in a very dark room. it is completely black and you cannot see anything. And then within 10 seconds of standing in silence, you hear a faint as 2 feet hit stone, and then a loud retching sound from Tizio.
Well, I probably would have casted light so I could see.
Within 10 seconds? Yeah, sure. You
Well,
can
I
totally
mean,
do that.
Maybe not. I don't know.
Up to you.
In the upcoming time.
Sure, of course. So you enter into this room and you cast light, and you and the rest of you approach in here now. And once all of you enter into the room emits light. Torch sconces on the sides of the walls blaze into life, and you look around you and you can see that there is a large study surrounded by various different tomes and a very long table with nice throw pillows seated around it. But you all appear to be in a very well lit interior study room. A few moments go by, and Ixon, I'm sorry, I thought I said Exxon. Thank you. A few moments go by, excuse me, and you do hear a faint foot on stone as you watch from the farther corner of the room. A slender female with dark olive skin and very long flowing clothing enters in through a doorway on the opposite side of the room. And in her one hand she is holding a long slender staff made of solid obsidian color, and in her left hand she's just holding a small book that she is just loosely carrying on the side. As she approaches the group of you, she takes a moment, and you watch as her eyes flash from her normal hazel color to a bright white blue, and then back to normal. And as she looks at the group of you, and she goes, "Good day. My name is Vara Safar. I am the Blackstaff here in Waterdeep. I see that you got my summons." And she looks over at you, Talum.
Indeed. It was quite unexpected.
Well, many unexpected things happen here in Waterdeep. It was the last thing I'd ever expect that a group of unknowns would help a friend of mine. I'm sure you all remember him, Raynar? He tells me that you rescued him not but a day or two ago.
Ah, yes. I do remember him.
Yeah,
He's a good guy, it seems.
He's a very good guy and a very valuable friend to me, and I am very grateful for your help. And with that, I had summoned you here to ask for a favor. Do you guys wish to sit? And she gestures towards the long seated table that's before all of you, and you all see that it starts to populate with various different drinks. There's a small kettle that is now steaming hot. There's a couple wineskins and different sized goblets.
I'll take a seat.
Sure.
Definitely.
I'll take a seat as well. And can I do start doing messing with my goggles for detect magic?
Sure, you definitely can. Yeah, you just you grab a seat, you just put your goggles in your lap and start tinkering with them. I'm sorry, give me 1 second, everybody.
Someone's about to go blind.
That's what I was thinking.
Sorry, I had to cough real bad there.
It's gonna have like freaking what is it, like a seizure and stuff with all the different colors.
Yeah,
Sensory overload.
So, while Tizio is working on that, you watch as Vara sits down next to each of you on the opposite side, and she begins to explain some things to you. I've been the Blackstaff here for going on 10 years now. Ever since my fiancée was murdered Um, you must forgive me. There's been some troubling times here in the past decade, especially with the surrounding areas of the Sword Coast. The cult of the dragon has caused a lot of headache and turmoil for many people. We are currently working to rebuild as much of the Sword Coast as we can in our outlying sister cities. I'm sure you've heard. I come to you seeking help, for the need of adventurers has been great as of late, and it seems that I have not been able to reach a certain friend of mine who has gone into isolation on Mount Waterdeep, and I was wondering if the group of you would seek him out.
Is there elites?
I'm sorry?
Is there any leads on where he is?
Oh, I promise you, he's not missing. I think he's just ignoring me. And she kind of chuckles a little bit. You see, he's a monk, and he frequently, from time to time, travels up to the side of Mount Waterdeep and just holes up in a cave for months on end. He says this brings him visions of the future, that the knowing mistress grants him this sight beyond sight, and he tends to come back with these prophecies, if you will, foreshadowing danger or prosperity that may lie ahead. And there has been times before where he gets so caught up in his meditation that he forgets when he's actually being called upon and when he's hearing things. But I'm sure if you traveled up the side of Mount Waterdeep, you would probably find a cave with him sitting in there. And I would ask that you find him and ask him what visions he's had about threats to the city. But try not to annoy him or overstay your welcome.
If you don't mind me asking, where are we right now?
She looks up and you watch as her eyes shift over to green. Like her irises, they change to green. And she looks back at you, and you get the feeling that she's communicating with you, but a different voice enters out from her mouth. This is the tower, known as Blackstaff Tower, Agharan's Tower. We are here in the tower. This is but one of many libraries, if you will. A place of protection, a place of comfort and mindful thought. Do not worry, you are safe here. And you watch as she blinks and her eyes go back to Hazel. And she kind of shakes for a second, like shakes her head, and she kind of looks at you and goes, sorry, I could have easily answered that myself, but it seems some of my predecessors still like to get a word in now and then.
Well, thank you.
Of course.
That
Just,
was an interesting trick.
I guess, yes, you could call it a trick to the unseen eye. It's just a very old magic. One that has allowed the Blackstaffs from generation to generation to pass on their knowledge between each other. Those who have been selected to take up this staff carry a bit of weight on their shoulders as all those who came before them gain that knowledge. It can be quite overwhelming to one's unprepared. However,
I'm sure you're,
Go ahead.
I'm
No.
sure you're quite trained, quite prepared.
She smiles broadly in your direction, and then she looks over at you, Calarian. And she her head kind of tilts to the side for a moment. She looks at you and she goes, "You were not always dragonborn, is this true?"
Yes.
"I have not seen magic like that in some time. Who did the ceremony?"
No, I have to look this up again.
I like this place.
"Is the seating comfortable?"
To answer your question, I did.
She looks at you for a moment like, You cast the ritual upon yourself, was there no other?"
Oh, I created the environment for the ritual, and my patron had played his hand in it afterwards.
She takes a deep breath and then exhales, and she's just looking at you very curiously, and then she says, "As I said, it's a magic I have not seen in a very long time. It's good to know that he's still watching over us."
So why do you need a group of adventurers to send a message to somebody in a mountain? Surely there's more to it.
And she looks over at you and she smiles. "Well, my young friend, it's not... I am quite capable of sending messages, as I sent one to your friend Talum here. But when a person chooses not to respond or ignore my summon, it makes it quite difficult. And unfortunately, my responsibilities require me to stay near this tower and in this city. And I don't have the time, as it were, to venture up to the side of Mount Waterdeep on my own. I have tried piercing the veil and locating his whereabouts, but I am being blocked. I don't think anything is harming him. I think he is shutting me out. So I need someone to physically go. Someone who can brave the dangers of Mount Waterdeep, as it is fairly steep and fairly dangerous."
So sending one person wouldn't be good enough is what I guess what I was getting at.
"In the interest of safety, it would not be wise, no. But a group such as yourself, who seem to have been capable, according to Raynar, should be able to manage finding him amongst the caves, asking him what he knows, and reporting back to me. Should it not?"
Sounds doable.
Is there a time limit on this? Does it need to be done quickly?
Hlam has not responded to me for over 3 weeks now. He's been up there for at least 2 months. I would like to know that he's okay, but I don't have a timeline. I couldn't tell you how long it would take for you to find him. That's totally up to you. And you can watch, you watch now as on the center of the table where you guys are seated, the the cups and the goblets and the all of the drinks, they start to slowly rise up out of the air and shift out of the way. And you watch as Vara, she twists her wrist ever so slightly, and a an image appears across the entirety of the table. Um, Tizio, you would recognize this as a representation of Mount Waterdeep itself. Excuse me. And you can see that it is quite a large mountain range that rests within the city itself. You all have actually seen this mountain when you guys are traversing through the cities. When you're looking to the southwest, you can see that cutting off the vision of the coastline is a very large, maybe what, 25 or 3,500 foot mountain range. I have to get you the specifics on that, but it's quite large and you can't miss it. And you watch as after she projects this image across the table, she points to the very top of it and she says, aside from the various other creatures or monsters that might reside somewhere within the caverns, there's also the Griffin Cavalry who rests upon the top, where they train and store and maintain part of the Griffin Watch here within Waterdeep. Not every single Griffin is trained, mind you. So sending one or two individuals up who are ill-equipped for defending themselves against such wild, untamed creatures would pose unnecessary risk.
Makes sense.
But the task should be simple enough. If you guys are able to speak with Hlam, Hlam, and just gather what information he has, tell him that the Blackstaff sent you. I would truly be in your debt, and I would be extremely grateful. And he watches the image fades. Pardon?
Couldn't hurt to go.
I didn't hear what you said.
Couldn't hurt to go, I suppose.
Couldn't hurt to go, I suppose, he said, just in case.
Yeah, I heard him that time, thank you. I just didn't acknowledge because he was talking to the group.
Yeah, seems fine with me.
Wonderful. Yes, good.
Sorry, never mind.
Oh, wonderful. Please, just... The tower will know when you've returned. So, do not worry about attempting to message me or find me. Just come to the tower and I will know that you are here.
Sounds good. Get back to you soon.
I appreciate it. And she, as she stands, you watch as the tables and the furniture and actually the bookshelves and everything around you guys slowly start to fade into nothing, and the room goes black for a moment, and then you feel that sensation of being pulled again, and then suddenly you are all thrust into the center courtyard of Blackstaff Tower, the sunlight blaring into your eyes as the various lectures of students and teachers continue on around you.
Well, what do we want to do first?
So, Tizio, how far away is this mountain thing?
It's to the southwest, correct, DM?
Yes, that's correct.
Oh, sorry, so this thing right here.
That's it.
Yep.
And I'm assuming that the little thing over here is where we're at?
No.
That building? No. Okay.
You guys are here.
Oh, so it's like in the city. I thought we were talking like multi-day journey.
Nope. Mount
Yeah.
Waterdeep
No. Yeah.
I
is
thought you were going
literally
across the ocean.
no. Mount Waterdeep is the actual and Tizio, roll a history check. Okay.
The DC was a 2, right?
Absolutely. You are. You guys recall from Volo's tour that he gave you guys that Mount Waterdeep was specifically focused on as a city because the entire mountain range itself was such a good protection from exterior invaders since it's kind of concaved in towards the city side, and it was good protection from any kind of coastal attacks. And then the city was much smaller originally when it was first founded. It wasn't even the city of Waterdeep at a time, and the city just eventually ended up building up around the mountain itself.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. It's a little bit of a hike, but I'm assuming we can get there within the next few hours.
That's correct. Well, I mean, it would take you guys maybe an hour or so, or maybe 45 minutes or so to traverse your way down that way if you're taking the path, just following the coastline. But then yeah, once you guys got to the base of the mountain, it's a bit of a trek. Let me actually give you the right.
Yeah, 2,500 feet seemed a little low.
Actually, it's the whole of Mount Waterdeep is 1,500 feet at the peak.
Oh, okay.
So
Well, there's not going to be murders in the middle of the day, that's for sure. So we might as well.
as
Yeah.
a guy drops dead right on your left. No, I'm joking.
Plus, it seems like a good idea to make the Archmage the top priority.
Yeah, I think the black staff is probably a little more powerful.
Okay. Too late it's canon. What is the murder or the 2,500?
The murder.
Sure.
Murder.
Oh no, Grandpa. Okay, so you guys make your way over towards the base of Mount Waterdeep. This will be interesting. So here is how this works, since this is coming straight from the book. I want everyone to make a perception check for me. Nice. It's your second natural 20 in a row, I think. Okay, so perfect. So the walk along the shoreline over to the mountain base itself, it's fairly peaceful. You guys do pass a various smaller alcove of homes and such on the edge, but you guys maintain the main street itself, which would be right around here, passing through the Feltlock Court, making your way over towards the base. Calarian, as you guys are approaching towards the base of the mountain, you're actually able to look up and you can see that there are a large number of these huge winged creatures. Some of them with smaller shadows on their backs, others flying solo, and they seem to be flying in almost this V-shaped formation around a circle on top of the mountainside. And from where you guys are at the base, looking up into the sky, they look huge, even though you have a general estimate that they are really high up in the air. You can make a This would be a history check if you'd like to see if you recognize them at all from this distance, especially since you rolled a nat 20. Nice. Yeah, so you totally recognize these as griffins flying around in circles up at the top. All right.
Does he say any, are you gonna say anything to the group about it, or?
I don't know. That's why I was quiet for a moment.
Yeah, that's fine. That's why I brought it up.
Did we lose you, Clarion?
No, did you not hear me?
Oh, no, I didn't hear you. Did anyone hear
No.
I didn't.
Oh, I said,
did
"Oh, look,
not.
griffins."
him? He's like, we have more important things to do. Come on. Okay. Nay, not a problem.
I mean,
So,
I guess if I said it more. What's the word I'm looking for? Better, I guess.
Nope. The original way's canon. Sorry.
All right. Well, is it like canon, or is it like Warhammer canon, where everything happens but nothing is canon?
however you guys want to handle it. So, here at the base of the mountain, this is going to actually be a check to see if you can climb it. And then there's going to be a check to find Clom. So, the
Well,
first...
I got some pittons. Do I get to
Do you have a climbing kit?
No, but I have pittons and rope.
So, a makeshift climbing kit?
Sure.
Let me, oh, I don't know. That might put you at a disadvantage. Hold on, let me pull up the player's handbook real quick.
Well, nobody here is
He
going to
also
have a
has
climbing kit.
magic and
That's
an
not true.
imagination.
He does have magic.
Does anybody here have a climbing kit? Wait, I can make a climbing kit.
No, but how does my timber walk help me?
Post that for me.
Yeah, so I think I posted it.
Let me check. Timberwalk. To track you have disadvantage. Move
Keep
across difficult terrain. Made of non-magical plants. Make a perception check for me. Well, you already did. You made a 9, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It is difficult terrain going up there, but you're not seeing a lot of plants or undergrowth, unfortunately. So at where normally you would be able to go through underbrush and things and use the momentum of the way the forest is to push your way along, there are patches that might help you out at like the beginning here, or if you guys were climbing up on this side, but a lot of this is rocky terrain climbing up.
Cool.
But good thought.
We now have a climbing kit.
Da, 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 da. Well, it's an object, and I believe hold on, let me pull up, because a climbing kit consists of multiple things.
Robbed. Okay.
So,
Well, if I have pittons and ropes, what am I missing?
well, that's why I'm pulling it up. So let me check. So it has special pittons, boot tips, gloves, and a harness.
Ugh.
So I mean, you can use the pittons you have. You have rope. You can make a harness. The boot tips are, spikes into your boots to kick in, and gloves.
So this isn't like a path. This is like straight up rock climbing.
There's no path. This is straight up rock climbing up the side of this. You can make if you want to take time to make an investigation check, you can take time to walk around the base of the mountain looking for a path.
Do we want to do that, guys?
If you guys want to try to look around for some way to navigate this.
Well, I can't imagine they walk up there to tame griffins.
Does anybody know Dominate Beast? Then we can just grab a griffin.
No, I don't think so.
No, yeah, I know. Okay. I mean, we could look around. Yeah, okay. I mean, I have pittons and rope, so we could do something with that, guys. I don't know. Otherwise,
There there's probably a path somewhere.
She could. The black staff can't just like teleport us over there.
She's busy. I don't know.
I mean, you can definitely ask her if you like. You can
Yes,
head.
let's walk back and ask her to teleport us to the top of the place she asked us to go.
You're more than welcome to, if that's what you want to do. I'm not going to tell you no. She might. Who knows? She might say, I thought you were adventurers. Why can't you handle something that simple?
Probably warded or something for teleportation.
So, what do you guys want to do?
Up we go.
Yeah, up.
All right. So, here's what's going to happen. I need everyone to make a Constitution saving throw.
I'm
You're
gonna
gonna
re-roll
re-roll, I know.
I got so excited because I saw that 17 right as I pressed mine.
10, 10, 3, or 10, 10, 7, and 17, right? Okay. So, as you guys make your way up this mountain, this is arduous, it is exhausting, and aside from Talum, surprisingly, it is extremely difficult. But I guess Talum, because you're not wearing any leathers or metal, it's pretty easy for you to fit your small frame along the rock edges as you're climbing up, and sticking a pin in here and there when you have to get yourself some footing.
Pure adrenaline to try to impress the local archmage.
That must be it. But yes, everyone who except for Talum takes 3 points of exhaustion
Wait, oh my god.
just from climbing up this trek. And the total time it takes to climb up this is probably about 4 hours. And we're not talking to the top of the mountain. This is like halfway up.
We gonna die from this? Or...
No, you're
Yeah,
not gonna die from this.
One more roll, you'll die.
So, it shouldn't be too bad. Let me pull up what the exhaustion levels are.
Ability checks, saving throws, and attacks. Probably one more thing at 3 levels.
Yeah, there's your speed is like halved or something, I think. And speed is halved at 2.
Speed half.
So ability checks are a disadvantage. Speed is halved. Disadvantage on attack saving throws. Don't worry about you're not going to get into a fight here, unless you roll bad. No, I'm joking. That is true. This is going to wear you out. So you guys have now made it to where you guys are about maybe 750 or so feet up the side of this very rough terrain cliff face. I would like everyone to go ahead and make a perception check as you try to look around for any kind of cave entrances. For those of you who have exhaustion, it's at disadvantage. Unfortunately. Okay. Well, with that, we will take a quick 5 or so minute break because it's already 9, and then we can all grab coffee and whatnot, and then we will continue on with the results from this in a few minutes. How's that sound?
Yep.
Perfect. All right.
Yeah.
I'll see you guys back in a few. Hello, hello.
Hello back.
Apparently, the founder of Anonymous did an AMA.
That's interesting. I'll have to watch that. What platform?
It's just a Reddit post.
Uh, well, did or is going to have?
Already did it.
Okay. I'll have to check it out. That's interesting.
Curious. Curious.
Oh, thanks. Just let me know when everyone's back.
She likes password managers.
I don't know if that's for me or not. That's weird. All right. Yeah, I'm wondering if, like, because you said the UI was changed or whatever, I'm wondering if it's because I actually bought books.
I mean, maybe. I know I had already owned those 2 books.
Right, yeah, so I guess if you'd have looked it up on your end for yourself, it would have been, I don't know.
I just never seen that big banner. Never seen that big red banner before.
I don't know. Well, on Perry's character sheet, like his lucky trait and all that stuff has like clover icons and stuff.
Well, I know he did that on purpose.
Oh, okay.
He just added some emojis.
Mm. Interesting. So let's see here. Gonna go look for a monk. Think we're still waiting on Clarion and Perry.
And we're half dead.
No, I'm here.
Oh, I'm sorry. Clarion, are you also here? Oh, that's fine. We can give him a few more minutes.
I'm back.
Hey!
Sorry, I got a sick dog.
No, it's fine. Are they okay?
I don't know. He's lethargic and shitting liquid.
Okay, so my dog was diagnosed with Giardia because she ended up drinking some stale water outside from the rain, and she ended up getting an infection, and she became very lethargic, and I had to get her antibiotics. Like, she was throwing up water and stuff.
He hasn't been throwing up or anything, but he's
Okay.
like a husky, like half husky basically, and he's not doing shit today.
Oh no. Yeah, mine
So
is.
he's not good tomorrow or one of that.
Yeah, mine is a full husky. She was not feeling well for like the first day or so. She was being very lazy, not wanting to go anywhere, and she loves going outside. And then like I think on day 2 or day 3 is when she started throwing up water. It was like foamy white water. So I don't know.
Yeah, Jerry has a couple times when he was a puppy. He kept eating rabbit shit outside. But
Yep. That'll do it.
we'll see what happens. He just had a physical, so.
Okay, well I hope he's better. Or gets better. So that's done. Where is my other note for you awesome people? Okay, so you guys made it up halfway up the mountain. You guys made perception checks to try to look around for any kind of cave or anything like that. A lot of you guys are pretty darn exhausted from this hike, especially Tizio. Like, this is not the kind of manual labor you were expecting to have to do ever in your life.
Nope, not at all.
But it's definitely giving you some ideas to resolve this in the future. But with that, Talum, you do notice that the side of this mountain range is speckled with a number of various size caves. Some are very small, some are quite large. There's quite a number of them, but you do see from one of them, maybe 100 or so feet away from you guys, not too much of a trek. One of those caves seems to have a lot of, I want to say, like markings or some kind of indicators, like etched into the sides of the rock.
Can I see what they look like from here, or just that they're there?
You can, from this distance, you can see that they're there, like someone or something visibly made etches onto the door frame of the rockets of the cave entrance itself, but it's too far at this distance to really make out too much detail. You have to get closer.
Guys, I see some markings. Maybe we should check it out.
Yeah, just give me a second here, and then I'll proceed.
Sure. As he tries to catch his breath back. Okay, yeah. So you guys make your way up a little bit more of a trek up that side of the mountain, and you are now on a very tight cliff edge, much closer now to the entrance of this cave. You can make an Arcana check if you like, Talum. Very nice. Let me pull up the correct color, because that's a thing.
Wait, wouldn't I have to cast Detect Magic to like
No,
see that?
with
Oh,
your
okay.
with your knowledge, you're able to make out certain sigils.
Oh, okay. I don't
So,
know. I didn't want to get more information than I deserved, you know.
no, you're fine. Where did I put it? Oh, where did I put it?
It's under books in player handout.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I have way too much stuff. Yes, there it is. I got to put a tag. It didn't pop up when I tried to type the tag. So yeah, so you taking a look at these etches into the sides of this cave face, you're getting a strong resemblance to divination magic. Possibly some form of warding of protection or something preventing types of divination magic in a certain area. Oh, and I do apologize. I actually brushed past Tizio's detect magic while you guys were in the chamber. Um, I just remembered that. Upon completion of your detect magic ritual, while you guys were sitting there having that conversation, you went to go throw on your goggles and try to discreetly put them on. It didn't activate.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah, like you sat there and you slipped them onto your eyes and you were like, okay, I should see magical stuff right now, but nothing seemed to have changed in any way, shape, or form. And usually, when you cast your detect magic, you get like that slight infrared spectrum that you're seeing. You couldn't even recognize it at all. Everything just looked normal, and then you had to kind of like take off your goggles and be like, huh, did I screw something up?
Okay, interesting info. Thank you.
Yep, sorry about that. I completely brushed
No,
over that.
you're fine, man. You're fine.
So yeah, so you guys do see, or Talum does point out, hey, there's seems to be some sort of divination runes here etched along the exterior of the cliff face. But peering into the tunnel itself appears large enough. It's maybe about 8 to 10 feet high, about 4 or 5 feet wide, and it goes in quite a ways. It gets darker the further you go in, but some of the light does breach into the entrance, and it appears to be unlit and dark and untouched, aside from the markings on the outside.
It's dark, you said?
It is dark.
I'll cast light, I guess.
Sure. So as you guys make your way in through this cave entrance, I imagine?
Yeah.
Okay. You guys start proceeding in through the cave entrance and start finding that the surface itself is not completely flat. It seems to actually decline down slightly at a very small grade, but you get the sense that you're kind of walking at an angle almost into the mountain itself. You guys travel for maybe about 5 or so minutes before you start picking up the faint sense of smoke and possibly some form of like once cooked meats, and a bit of a stale, musty odor of like dust and decay. Okay.
Hello? Anybody there?
Hello, hello, hello. It echoes and permeates down through the rest of the tunnel, but you don't get a response.
He's probably deep in meditation.
True.
But they said that we don't have anything. Probably just go forward, find him.
Yep.
Okay. You guys press on for another 10 or so minutes, and you can see now that the incline starts to get a little heavier, and you guys start sloping down a little bit further. Looking back, you know that any light that was visible from the entrance is completely gone now. But with the light you guys have emanating around you, you're able to see that the walls themselves, they don't appear to be, they appear to be rough and jagged around all the edges. There is a light layer of dust that is coating the floor of this cave, which is anyone proficient in survival can make a survival check for me. Oh, is that nobody?
I'm not.
Tizio's not.
Okay. Who would be at the front of the marching order then? How do you guys want to proceed walking down this hallway?
I have the light. I guess I'd be in front. I don't know.
Okay,
Unless somebody else.
up to you guys.
No, that's fine. You can go first.
Sure. Go ahead and make a survival check then. Tell them. Nice. You guys are rolling great today. I would say that, yeah, you would know you would have a very good understanding of like how dust accumulates in certain areas, and you've seen it a lot with various different libraries and books and things that you've been reading, and then how different levels of dust based on how long areas have been traversed. You're not seeing any footsteps or trails leading further down into this tunnel, and it's actually really weird to even see dust at all, like like an actual layer of what appears to be like dust itself, aside from what you would assume normally would be like rocks and dirt and stuff like that. But nevertheless, you know, you guys continue on going for another 5 or so minutes deeper into this tunnel. You guys have reached in about like 30 minutes or so now, and at the finally at the far end of the tunnel here, you can see, well, yeah, you would all be able to see with the light finally cresting over the back wall. You can see that the back wall is completely it just stops, and then you can see that there is a leather and wool bedroll on one corner, and you can see that there is a very small makeshift table which has a couple of pieces of what appear to be rotted meat. And then you can see sitting in the center of the chamber, what is his race? You see a elven male who is just currently sitting in like cross-legged, just hands on his knees, eyes completely closed, and just unmoving. His facial features look extremely like gaunt and gallow, like he looks very, very thin, and as almost as if, maybe he hasn't eaten in a while. But he's unmoving, completely still, just sitting upright.
Just
He does not move or jostle as you guys approach.
tap on.
You go to tap on him.
Yeah.
Okay. You reach out and you go to touch on his shoulder, and suddenly, like, his hand just with unexpected speed grasps onto your wrist, and you watch as one eye just pokes open at you halfway, and he looks over at you and he goes, "What do you want?" "What do you want?" As he tries to clear his throat.
You're on behalf of the Black Staff.
He releases your wrist as you say that. "And what does that coot want now?"
She wanted to know what information you had gleaned from your meditation.
Make a
Any
charisma.
bad news?
Make a persuasion check for me with advantage since he's Clarion's helping you. Or was that Perry? I'm sorry. Okay. He rests his hand back up on his knee, and he looks over at the group of you, and now both of his eyes are starting to open. You can see there's like a lot of like crust and stuff around his eyelids, and he starts to like brush it out of his eyes, and he looks around a little bit dazed, and he goes, "What day is it?" And he's trying to think and remember about how long he's been in here.
What day is it, TM?
Today is the...
This man's been tracking a calendar.
I have. Today is the 18th of Tarsak. The year of the warrior princess, 1489 DR.
So Perry played with it's the 18th of the Tarsak.
And he kind of looks back at you, Perry, and it's like one of those, "Oh crap, I left the thing on" moments. And he's like, "Well, I've been in here for a while."
A few months, I believe she said.
"My apologies." And he starts to rub on his forehead a little bit, and you can see that like his all of his hands and his body and his he looks extremely weathered and worn out, especially because he's completely lost track of time in this cave in the dark. I don't think he has pink eye. He takes a moment to right himself and stand up and stretch. And then he looks back at the group of you and he goes, what was it? How many did Doctor Strange say? It was like 6 million something.
Some idea.
Yeah, he he looks at the group of you and he goes, I've been lost in quite a bit of meditation. The knowing mistress has been attempting to guide me through some unfortunate events that might be transpiring here in the months to come. And then he proceeds to tell you, please, let the Blackstaff know that evil's twin hides its face for now. Expect that to change before winter's end.
That's it.
You watch as he's sitting there momentarily, just trying to think real hard about everything. He's trying to process all the things that he's been having visions on. And he looks back over to you and he says one more time, there was something else. Cities will burn and crumble if the Dark Witch rises again. And then he shakes his head and he goes, yeah, that's it.
Do you need a ration or something, man?
I have food here, and he points over to the table. Oh, I guess so.
I'll toss him one.
He takes it and he just sets it next to him. Please, tell the Blackstaff I apologize, Ash. I'm sure she's tried to reach out for me.
She said she had quite a bit. Hadn't heard from you from like 3 weeks or something.
I think it's been a little longer than that. I'm not entirely sure. Tarsak, you said. Okay. And you watch as he's like starts stretching some more, and then he's just begins pondering. If that's all you need, just go on, get out. I have more meditating to do.
Does he have similar garb to Levi at all or anything?
Make a perception check. Trying to compare, like looking at Levi, looking at him, he is wearing like a cloth vest similar to Levi, and he has like, you see that there are like wrappings around his arms, and you can see that he's just wearing like a simple pair of blue pants that seem to be tied off with some kind of sash. You're not looking over at Levi, looking at this gentleman. You're not seeing any kind of markings or symbols on the two of them that might be any kind of similarities, but you get the sense that they might have the similar, some similar teachings in some aspect, but you're not entirely sure. And if Levi were here, he'd probably want to talk to him.
Cool.
Yeah, but I mean, you get the sense that, you know, like the Blackstaff said, like that he is a monk, but not entirely sure of what monastery he's from or what his purpose is in helping the Blackstaff, things like that.
Sure, yeah.
And he just kind of looks at the group of you expectantly. Well, what are you waiting for?
So Barry will start leaving.
You know, I'll follow Barry.
All right. So you guys start heading back down the mountain?
I guess.
Okay. let's see here. Everybody, go ahead and just make another Constitution saving throw for me. Okay.
Suppose I'm at a disadvantage, so aren't I?
Yeah, you guys be at disadvantage.
Not that mattered.
Okay. So, it's a rough trek down, but not as terrible as it was coming up, especially because now that you guys kind of carved out a specific path to come up, it just takes you a bit longer to get back down, just trying to make sure that you're safely traversing back down the mountainside. But with those rolls, and unfortunately, even though, like, Talon, again, surprisingly, not having an issue with it, he's kind of leading the charge, is making sure it's stopping every now and then when you guys are about to slip and fall or something, catching you, helping each other out. It'll probably take you guys maybe another 3 to 4 hours to make your way back down the side of the mountain. Just from the climbing experience and you guys being tired. Don't suffer any additional exhaustion from coming back down the mountain. But you guys are extremely worn out when you get to the bottom, and the sun is like almost set by the time you guys reach the base.
How do you recover exhaustion? Is that long rests?
Yeah, long rests.
So I suppose with our exhaustion, probably a bad idea to check out the docks tonight.
And for the next 3 days, apparently.
You don't have to go all the way back to 0.
Yeah, I would say one more point would be fine. Disadvantage on attack rolls and saving throws. It's rough.
Yeah.
We should wait. Is it really late?
It's not really late. It's like it is dusk now. Like the sun has set. You can see the various lights as you guys are making your way down the mountain. You could see that various lights and street lamps were being lit. You can see that some of the carriages that traverse through the city itself, and you being up as high as you were, looking over the entirety of Waterdeep, you can. It's quite amazing to get the scope of the entire city itself, looking out into the distance. Let's see, I actually think I have... No, I don't have the overall. But yeah, it's very awesome looking out over the entirety of the city as it starts to illuminate itself as the sun starts to set. It's quite a spectacle.
You guys think we should go back to the tower tonight or do it in the morning?
Perry's gonna want to go to sleep.
Yeah, I would agree with this in the morning.
Sounds good.
I mean, we don't need the whole group to go back to the tower either, I suppose.
I guess.
It's not a dangerous place, as far as I know.
I'm sure it's quite dangerous if you're unwelcome. Yeah, we can just do it in the morning as a party. It's fine.
Alright, cool.
Okay, so you guys are heading back Troll School Manor?
Yeah, I guess I will.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, well.
Sure. Who is leading the way? Also, mind you, you guys, if you want to not have to walk, you can purchase rides and things like that.
For level 2, we walk. It's the way of the world.
I'm just
Yeah.
giving the option. There are ways to travel.
The carriage does sound nice right now. Is there a nearby carriage?
It'll take you a few minutes, but yeah, you can definitely hail one down that can fit the group of you.
Oh yeah. Start hailing down carriage.
Sure.
My tiny little feet.
Yeah, because it's gonna probably take you guys about an hour and a half to make your way back up to the north ward.
Oh, I didn't realize we were that far. Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
you guys are about an hour and a half away because you guys are down here, and you're heading let's see. And the map should be to scale, but you know, traversing through. Your guys' house is right here. So yeah, so it's a bit of a trek, especially because you know you gotta climb down the mountain, get back in through the city, traverse your way, all the good stuff. So, yeah, you guys are able to catch a dryer or just a standard coach, and for the 5 of you, it'd probably cost you about let's see, traveling. It's 2 different wards. Probably cost you about 8 silver for the 5 of you to make your way back
Done.
up there. Nice.
Yep.
Easy enough to do. Yep, and you guys are as quick as a pace as possible, navigated through this on this coach all the way back up towards the North Ward, and are dropped off on Serdune Street, just a short jaunt away from your house.
Can you remind me one more time? Is money 100 of a lower value to 1 of the higher next higher?
10 silver is a gold.
Okay.
There's also a chart in your player handouts. Under. I should have gave you guys a coin thing.
Books.
Under books, yep. Waterdeep currency. Perfect. Look at that. The wizard knows where all the books are. Alright. And then with that, you guys don't have to roll on a scene, because it's been pretty quiet. Perfect. And yes, so you guys have now arrived near the edge of Troll Skull Alley. You guys can make your way into the inn if you wish.
Okay, I can't quite remember. Oh, there was like a scene where there was someone poking around our building. Do I know about that? I can't remember what people were involved.
If I remember correctly, you had all just came back from transferring the title to Calarian, and upon entering into the alleyway, you had saw a humanoid individual scurry off to the northern street from your house.
Okay. I just didn't know if we all knew about
Yeah,
it.
so I believe you were all there when that happened. So let's see. Yeah, so no, yeah. So the coach would have dropped you guys off on Delzorin, and as you guys were walking up, there was a person here at your house, and they ran north.
Cool.
So, yes, so you guys are there. Let's change the music. As you guys are making your way into the house, you guys are greeted by a familiar face. It's Floon. Floon Blagmar is currently standing outside of your house, and he waves as you guys approach. Hail.
Loon, you crazy bastard.
I'm sorry, come again.
Doesn't call it Loon.
I've been waiting here for a number of hours. Seems you've finally come back. You all look like shit.
Thank you.
Just some casual afternoon mountain climbing.
Mountain climbing? What were you doing up the mountain?
Climbing.
Just kind of gives you this look.
We wanted to see the griffins.
So, what's your guys' plans? I've been waiting here, and in the meantime, a couple people came by to survey your place. I told them it'd be okay for them to go and look. I hope it wasn't a problem.
No, that's fine. Did they say what their names were?
They probably did, but I didn't really care to ask. They were just from some of the local guilds, And usually when people are saying they're from guilds to survey, you just let them through.
Yeah, we were expecting them.
I figured. No one else would come to a rundown place without a reason. But that is why I am here, actually. I have a reason for coming back anyway. It seems, from the last time I was here talking with you and Volo and Drennan, that you're going to be opening up the place again.
Yep, that's the plan.
Well, I was wondering if you guys would need any hires once you did open.
I'm sure we will, but we're not quite there yet.
Well, please feel free to put me down as a consideration. I have grown fond of you gentlemen. I am very thankful for your assistance in saving my life, and, well, quite frankly, I could use the coin myself, as Volo and I tend to have drinking habits.
We'll definitely keep you in mind.
What job are you did you have in mind?
It depends on what you need me for. I can do several things. I can drink. I can eat. I can also serve those things, I guess.
Yeah, the first two didn't really sound like a job.
Have you tried being a professional drinker? It's not easy.
I don't doubt it.
He just grins at you a little bit. And then he goes, if you guys need someone to work in the kitchens, I've been known to cook a meal. If you guys are in need of a bartender, I can certainly serve. I am quite versed in various drinks, so I definitely know what to look for and what to avoid. And he kind of thumbs over towards the other bar across the way from you guys. He's like, I've been to that slop hole and don't ever go there.
I wish you were here the other night. It was a waste.
Huh, you were telling me. All flash and no... What's the word? No substance. It's the best way I could put it.
So he's talking about the bar that Perry and I went to.
Correct.
Yeah. According to Perry, it tastes like piss.
I think that's putting it nicely, don't you? And he kind of laughs towards Perry.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully that place will be out of business once we open up.
Well, that depends on the staff that you hire, I suppose. I can always put in a great word for your establishment versus others. Anyway, that's all I really came here to ask, was if you guys were in need of any assistants or workers. And with you guys not being here, are you expecting more people to come by?
I think so. We had some guy recruiting the guilds to come take a look and price out the place for repairs. So
Oh, is that so? Who's this?
Durnan, I believe, right?
Drannan.
Dranan. Durnan was the innkeep. Yeah.
Yep.
Dranan.
Flume looks over at you and he just nods slowly. He says, okay, well, how about a proposition? Would you guys possibly, for your first employee, need someone to house sit for you while you're out doing whatever things you do? If
Probably not
you
a bad idea.
Yeah, seems like a good beta test of your reliability.
he
I feel like it's been happening a lot. Hire someone to come by and then we're never there.
well, people can definitely get carried away here. There's so much to do after all. But yes, I can definitely stop by in the mornings and keep an eye if anyone stops by. We can talk about fees a little later once you establish business.
Sounds reasonable.
Perfect. Wonderful. I'll see you all in the morning. Do you have plans tomorrow?
Yes.
Yeah, I think we'll be pretty busy in a couple days.
Oh, is that so? Where are you going?
Waterdeep.
Well, that's where we are.
Yeah,
Yep.
we gotta find more people to work on this tavern. But yeah.
And we have to gather coin, so we're doing jobs.
You're looking for money. Interesting. Okay, I'll keep my ear out. If I hear of anything, I'll let you know. How's that sound?
Good.
Perfect.
By the way, do you by chance see what the people that came by earlier look like?
He gives you a brief description on the some of the guilds that stop by the house. Give me 1 second. Let's see.
I guess did each of them actually identify themselves?
They did. They identified themselves as working for whatever particular guild they were working with, and then where in the world did I put it? I have so many darn. Give me 1 second. There it is. Yeah, so Floon tells you that the Surveyors, Maps, and Chartmakers Guild stopped by, and that the Carpenters, Roofers, and Plasterers Guild stopped by.
Sounds reasonable.
But he gives you a general description. You gather the sense that he wasn't paying too much attention to the individuals that wanted to come wander around your house. He just said, yeah, sure, go ahead.
Since you are now employed, would you mind writing down their names as they arrive? Maybe who they work for, just so we can keep a log of who's been here?
Yeah, perhaps a check-in sheet.
Certainly. Anything else?
No? Glad we found you. Seem like you'll be quite useful.
He just smiles broadly. Well, in the morning I shall see you then, gents.
Yeah. Stay safe.
He smiles again. You as well. And he heads on off towards Saradoon Street. The rest of the night is yours. We can push forward unless you guys have anything you want to do beforehand. Excuse me.
Barry's gonna clock out.
Understandable.
Exhausted.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So we'll roll into the next day.
Wait, how late is it? Do I have time to put an alarm in my book?
It's a first level spell.
Yeah, so 2 hours.
So let's see, 6. Yeah, you have time. It's only about 7 or 8 o'clock right now because you guys took a coach to get back. So you
Okay.
guys, it's actually pretty early in the evening. Thankfully.
I'll do that before bed then.
Okay. Yeah. You still feeling energized from having a very powerful wizard ask you to do something. You eagerly get back to your studying, and you wish you had done it the day before. So yeah. So go ahead and tack that in there if you like. Anybody else have anything?
Not me.
No? Cool. Silence is golden. I like it. Tack off that day. Tizio, make a perception check. Okay. So rest comes to all of you for the evening. Exhausted, worn out, but feeling good with having been able to help out the Blackstaff in a time of need, and not entirely sure what the reward would be for it, but nevertheless, took good faith in her request and decided to do as she asked. evening comes to a close. You all respectively find sleep without an issue. And the next day comes. Um, you're all awoken by the light trickle of rain. And for some of you, probably Levi and let me take a look at the actual layout. I want to say it was Talum. You guys are woken up by the sounds of water dripping from your roofs as some of the water seems to have poured its way in from the rain that is currently going on outside.
Yay.
But nevertheless, the day is yours, although cloudy and depressing. And it is completely overcast. The city is now blanketed in a thick gray sky with light shining behind.
Does our building is like a library thing, right? A study.
Your building is a library? Say that again.
Our building has like a study or something
It
by my
does.
bedroom.
Yeah,
I
let me
vaguely
pull
recall
up.
that.
Let me pull up the Troll Skull Manor under player handouts. Let's see here. Yes, there's a library slash study, and then there's a bedroom, a private bath, and this is all on the 3rd floor.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Perry checked that room. There was nothing special. Okay.
Yeah,
Never mind.
there were some busted up books in there and stuff like that. And then Calarian found a book in the attic.
Oh, okay. I just couldn't completely remember, but
Not a
sounds
problem.
good.
But yep, you all can remove 1 point of exhaustion, so I believe you all have 2 now, except for Talum, who briskly wakes up in a very excited mood, I imagine. The day is yours.
Is there an actual spot for exhaustion on here?
You can enable it on your
Yeah.
on your player sheet.
Yeah, I thought it was enabled for everyone, but if it's not, I'll update it later.
It's just in the settings.
Yeah, if you go
Yeah.
to settings, there's a field you can just check, I think.
No, yeah, it's in the.
It's at the bottom of the general options.
Yeah, show exhaustion tracking.
Yep. If you can't find it, don't worry about it for now. I'll get it updated for everyone later. But the day is yours with a slight bit of overcast rain. You guys do see it's probably about, you guys went to sleep pretty early. It's probably about maybe 7 o'clock in the morning right now as you guys wake up and make your way downstairs, and you see that there is a quiet and patiently waiting Floon sitting at the bar.
Cool. Well, hello. How are you?
Good morning. I was wondering when you would all wake. I'm well. How are you?
I'm feeling pretty good.
It's a tough morning.
Yes, this rain is troublesome, is it not?
Yeah, it just shows us the importance of getting some construction workers in here. Fix all the whole.
It does indeed. Well, I am here as promised. If there's anything you need of me while you're away, please let me know.
I honestly feel bad not paying you yet. I don't know. Toss him a gold. Consider it an advance. You showed up on time. You did a decent job so far.
He takes it from off the table and he places it in his pocket. Doesn't, and he just nods to you and he goes, "It's my pleasure, really."
Hopefully this leads to a prosperous relationship for both of us.
Indeed.
Oh, do we want to head off to
Yeah, let's
Flagstaff?
head over there.
Okay. So, making your way back through, this time now a lot less crowded through the streets as you guys make your way back over towards Blackstaff Tower. A lot of people seem to be trying to stay out of the weather and indoors as much as possible. You can see that there are various stalls that are just closed up for the day because they're not really prepared for rainy weather. A lot of local vendors are open, but they're shouting for people to come inside. Surprisingly, no people shouting out information like they were on the day before. No, you don't see any kids running around out in the streets. It seems to be pretty gloomy. Whoever's leading the way, go ahead and make a roll a d100 for me. 97. You do see, as you guys are walking, there is a middle-aged woman. She's walking by herself in this pouring rain. No umbrella or anything trying to cover her. She's completely drenched in water, and she is pushing what appears to be a stroller. And you can see that she's like cursing and swearing at something out into the air. And then you watch as she just shoves the stroller out into the center of the thoroughfare.
Shoves it where?
Out into the middle of the road where like horses and shit go.
Do we understand what she's saying? I'm assuming no.
I mean, she's just generally cursing at the weather, and she is just seems to be unhappy about something, but you're not entirely sure. It's not making a lot of sense.
Whoa, 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 whoa! Excuse me, ma'am. Is there? Do you need some help here?
What do you want? Just leave me alone. It's raining already. It's bad enough. I'm sick and tired of this. There's nothing going on here. This place is in ruin.
Please, please, let me help you get to where you need to go faster.
What? I'm in my
Can you
house.
open your
Why are
bag?
you in my house? Get out. Help! Help! And she starts.
I'm gonna just walk back away on this one.
She's just like looking at you like menacingly. And now that you're closer enough to her, you can see like she pretty much looks like homeless almost. Like she's wearing a very tattered dress that is now just like caked in mud from the rain as she's like walking down through this street. Just batshit kind of crazy. It almost seems.
You said she had like a stroller.
Yep, that she shoved
Oh,
out into the street.
was there anything? Was I able to take a look, see what was inside?
Yeah, go. You want to rush out to grab it?
Oh, I thought she still had it.
Nope.
Yeah, I'll
She
kind of pass by it. Yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, it's currently like there are currently horses now that are trotting along through the street and that are like about to collide in with this carriage.
Yeah, I'll try to rush to get it out of the way.
Sure, make a dexterity saving throw. Okay. Yeah, you just barely managed to like rush up and grab this stroller and pull it back off the main road onto the sidewalk, before a 4 horse drawn carriage like steamrolls past. You take a look inside. Oh, it is disadvantage because you have disadvantage on ability checks. Oh, not saving throws. You're right. So 17 would be the roll. I believe, correct? Now you got me looking at stuff. Correct. No disadvantage
Yeah,
on that.
so
Yeah, so 17. So you briskly rush out into the street and grab this carriage, with plenty of time to spare before this 4 horse drawn carriage steamrolls through, just not stopping for anybody, just hauling butt to wherever it's going. And you pull the carriage off to the side, and you go to look inside it, and there's a small kitten inside. It's just meowing, and then it's currently like it's not like the interior is very dirty. The entire like the cloth that you imagine is like some kind of like velvet or fake velvet padding in there is just caked with mud and stains, and there are various different empty bottles and scraps of material and like ripped out pieces of books, and then just this cat piled inside.
Is the lady like walking away or anything like that,
Yep,
or is she just watching?
she
Okay.
is walking away, and she's
All
still
right.
talking to herself.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and reach in. Like, hey there, little guy. What's your name? Check for like a collar or anything like that.
Yeah, just make a general animal handling check for me. Oh yeah. So yeah, you reach inside, and it immediately starts purring, and but it's also upset because it's you can see that its fur is all matted and wet, and it just looks at you almost as if it's like looking for something to eat.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and just get some food from a little food from a rations and kind of feed it and take it, and I'll just move the cart out of the way, and I don't know, just right next to us, I guess, in the middle just not in the middle of the road.
Yeah, yeah, you're on the sidewalk now, so you're definitely out of the way. Yeah, and you can definitely feed it, try to feed it some various things, and it gladly accepts it and eats it hungrily.
Well, guys, looks like we're gonna have a new pet for the place as well.
Nice, a tavern mascot.
I thought the ghost was the tavern mascot.
The haunted kitten has a nice ring to it.
But with that,
Yeah.
go ahead. Sorry.
I was just think of a house type name for the kitten.
Thinking of a name for the kitten.
Yeah, you gotta name it now.
Right, yeah, you picked it up, you keep it. Well, we'll have to see what you guys decide to name it. As you guys are pressing on towards Blackstaff Tower, small kitten in tow, I guess that is where we will wrap up for the evening and continue on the next session at Blackstaff Tower.
Cool. GG, guys.
Cool.
Good.
Yep. Sorry, there was supposed to be combat this week, but since we didn't play last week, we're kind of pushed back on the narrative a little bit, so I do apologize.
All good.
'Cause
Yeah, that's fine.
I know fighting is fun, so I don't want to deprive you guys of it. But you guys are definitely strolling along at a good pace.
We're story building.
Absolutely. I mean, random kitten encounters, man.
By the end of this, we'll have 50 if we roll a D100 3 times a day.
I was gonna say that.
One in 100 chance. 10 days of walking around. I mean,
And you were rolling on both sides. I was like, you got a 4? Oh, man. It was like 94 or 97.
Yeah.
You're gonna
I-
get a 1 or something.
yeah. Where's the street fight?
Street fight?
Yeah, just brawl.
Clarify.
Like, when the massive brawl breaks out. In the
Oh,
street
you're
between
asking
two
you're
guys.
asking what role you have to get for that?
Yeah.
You'll have to find out next time when we play next Sunday. There are actual fights in here. Let's see. Yeah,
A
I'm not
silver
gonna tell you
dragon
when.
land from the sky.
Oh well, now I gotta change that. Hold on. Let me make a note. No, it's cool because the Waterdeep DM screen has a chart for this stuff for rolls. Once you guys hit a roll, I make note of it so that this way you guys aren't rolling the same thing over and over again. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I have a lot of stuff to go through. Awesome job, guys. I'm sorry that Levi didn't make it in. I don't know what happened to him, so sucks because he said he would be here. But
Yeah, I feel like he would have had a lot to say to that monk.
yeah, I know. I was kind of expecting that, which is unfortunate. So I'll have to have a side conversation with him about what he would have talked about with the monk. but not a problem. Do you guys have any questions of me?
No. should be
Nope.
good.
Cool.
I'll call
Awesome.
next week. Thank
Yeah.
I don't know if I
Alrighty.
would know this. Are the Blackstaffs affiliated at all with the like magistrate people that I was supposed to talk to like a couple days ago?
No. No, actually, the Black Staff is it. Think of them as the judicial branch, and the actual law and order of Waterdeep is the executive branch.
Sure. Okay. So they're like the cool kids on the block.
Sure. They're extremely powerful, and therefore the actual government of Waterdeep is just kind of like, yeah, this is how it is. Like they kind of do what they want, but there's also this, and Tizia would be able to kind of brief you on this, and you would know from history check. The Blackstaff is usually appointed because they only have the interests of Waterdeep at their heart.
Okay.
So like, there's never been a Blackstaff who has done anything but help the city.
So like they're goody two shoes
No.
for the city in general. Maybe not like.
So, I guess they will do what is necessary for the benefit of the city.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
When
I meant on a broader scheme, kind
the,
of.
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if it, arbitrary example, if 100 people needed to die so that the city would live, I mean, hey,
They're calculating. and
they're logical and methodical. If that
They're
makes sense.
wizards.
They are wizards. It's they have the ability to take action when the government gets caught up in red tape.
Sure. Yeah. And you said they like created the government originally, so they're like.
Yes, and inside the book, the Volo thing that you have, there should be a bit of lore on how that started.
Okay. Like I read some of it, but then I got bored and skimmed the rest. 'Cause there were a lot of words, and then there was a lot of words, so I kind of missed some of it, I guess.
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
go back and read it.
No, that's fine. I will specifically point out that part for you so that you can read it. I think it's like 2 paragraphs or so. But
Good
yeah,
enough.
it's a lot of info. Awesome job, everybody. No one's using their DM inspiration that they got. Could have saved you on some exhaustion.
I keep thinking
I
about
totally forgot about that.
Well, the problem with the inspiration is you got to use it before the roll, so it's like you don't always know the consequences. So you got to really be confident that you're going to use it.
I will double check that, but I thought you could just use it for. Well, no, yeah, you could just give yourself advantage. Yeah, you can't. You have to use it before.
I thought you can use it as long as
Yeah, must be
the DM
declared
before
before the
says.
roll.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, he's right.
So like my strategy for it is like when I know I really want to pass and I remember I have it, then I use it.
There you go. Climbing up a mountain, super helpful.
True.
But I mean,
Yeah,
you
I
know,
definitely wasn't expecting the 3 points of exhaustion either.
it's only it was only a D4 roll, thankfully, because 6 would kill you.
Yeah, it would be a hilarious if I don't know if the book or you decided that, but it would be hilarious if you decided a D6 and there was just a chance you killed half the party.
Right? No, the book says D4.
That must be one of the few times the book ever mentions exhaustion. Like any of the books they've ever published.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so you got to think about this, right? So, like I said, the last 2 weeks ago when we were playing, this section that we're currently in, it's going to happen over a span of like a week or 2 or 3 weeks based on what you guys do.
Yeah.
So that's why they're incorporating things like, well, climbing a mountain is going to suck, so you might have to take a couple days to relax.
It's just funny to me because like Wizards always forgets about exhaustion.
Yeah. It's very
There's
true.
like one class feature that uses it, and that's it, pretty much.
Yep. Think you're talking about barbarians?
Yeah,
Yeah,
frenzy.
rage. Yeah. But
It'd be cool if they added more exhaustion stuff.
I mean,
You
I
do it
could.
anyway, really.
No,
right?
like I mean, I don't know. Maybe it wouldn't be cool. It definitely makes you like think about what you're doing more if you end up, because like kind of how it normally is long rest heals all, and you just are good to go tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Exhaustion kind of adds more. I guess it's closer to gritty realism, kind of.
Yeah.
Which is both good and bad.
I think technically you're only really, if you travel a certain distance or if you don't go to sleep.
If you
is when you don't get exhaustion.
correct, yeah, I think Tal and I were talking about that the other day. But yeah, for travel, if you push past 8 hours of travel, then you roll for exhaustion for every hour passed. And then if you stay up for 24 hours, there's a DC check that increases every 24 hours.
Yeah, +5 every 25 hours.
Correct. Awesome stuff. Blackstaff's probably going to ask you some questions, Calarian, so I'll hit you up after this.
Curious about the magic transformation.
Yeah, I'll talk to him outside of this.
So excited to hear about it.
Alrighty. I will,
I'm off to bed then.
yeah, have a good night. Thanks for playing. I really appreciate it, guys.
Yeah.
See ya. It was
Thank
good.
you.
Thank
Have a
you.
good night, guys.
Good night.
Yep, see you guys.